there will be a Q&A session after with Joe Drennan and Marnie and myself. So please feel free to add your questions to our Q&A, and we'll get to those at the end. We will have this session available for you for viewing right after the meeting, if not sometime later on in the week, but you will be able to go back, rewatch, take your notes, and look at the recommendations if you've missed some. Also, there is a survey that we're going to present at the end. That's going to be emailed to you directly if you registered for the webinar. Please fill that out because it really helps evolve with our feedback on our monthly presentations. So thank you in advance. Like I had mentioned, me and Marnie will be going through these different SEO webinar scenarios. We'll be covering 4 major areas of conversation when talking about SEO and how it can help you after COVID. One of our benefits, here we go, there we go, that we're going to go through is we're going to go through the benefits and the drawbacks to SEO, why it's important that you add that to your website, why maybe you aren't adding it to your website at this point. We're also going to look at where to start if you're a small, medium, or large size business when it comes to SEO. It can be really daunting if you've never done it before, so we'll give you some idea of where to start. Marnie's going to jump in and help us with the post-pandemic options to increase our marketing efforts. And we're also going to look at a few different examples of clients that we've worked with for small, medium, and large businesses before we get to some tools and your questions at the end here. So with that being said, let's jump right in. So first things first, what is SEO? SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's the process of optimizing your website to gain the most organic search traffic in SERPs. And you're probably going to hear me mention SERPs quite a bit today. SERP stands for search engine result pages. So when you go and do a search right away, all those listings that pop up below that, that's your SERPs. So Google, Bing, and Yahoo all have thousands of searches performed every second on their search engine platforms. This means every search is an opportunity for your website to show up. Because of that, every business should be investing in some form of SEO or another. As you'll see again today, there are going to be some really technical stuff. You got to start somewhere, but it is really good to just start doing SEO on your website to start gaining ground in those SERPs. Because of COVID right now, you might be limited for the number of employee hours or the number of hours yourself that you can afford to devote to your SEO growth. You're not going to be able to utilize all the benefits of SEO if that's the case, but based on time, money, and needs, there needs to be some sort of effort that you are trying to make towards SEO and make it a priority for your website. It's only going to help you with your competition and making gains in search engines. So, a little touchy on the slides here. Benefits, let's jump right into those. Now that you have an idea of what SEO is, what are the benefits? How does it work? Why should I spend the time on my website adding these things? So first off, SEO is free. That's right, you heard it, free. Did we pique your interest with that? Okay, well, you know, it's not totally free. It does take time, it does take effort. You do have to devote some of that to your website. So time is money, right? So that is probably the biggest part of SEO that isn't free. The other is if you're actually paying an agency or a person to take care of your SEO for you, then yeah, that part's not free either. But otherwise, everything else, it's free. You can do it all yourself. So that's the great thing about SEO is, you know, you can test, you can run through different scenarios, you can add keywords, you can do all this stuff. It's all free. It just takes time. SEO is helping your website around the clock, 24/7, 365 days of the year. Just like your website, SEO does not stop. It's promoting your business all the time, every day, every night, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, right? So it's important to have all that information adding to your website for SEO all the time. Unlike traditional advertising like magazines and billboards, where somebody might flip through a page and might see your ad, or they're on their way to work and they happen to pass a billboard with your phone number and your name on it, SEO is available all the time. So this could be at 5 in the morning or 11 at night when somebody's doing a search. That SEO is helping you to get seen. They're searching for those keywords on their time to help your site get found. So that's always a great benefit to improving your website. SEO also increases your ranking in SERPs. There's that word again, by using keywords. Keywords are a primary focus of SEO. You'll see as we continue to talk here, keywords are at the forefront of a lot of SEO and the benefits and how we do a lot of our SEO strategy. So adding the right keywords to your website and to the right pages means that you're taking advantage of reaching the people that are looking for those exact keywords or search terms that they're searching for. Your searches are more targeted, they're driving the right type of traffic and the right audiences to your website and getting you more leads and sales. Because really that's, at the end of the day, all we're looking for, right? More leads, more sales, so that way, you know, your website's basically working like another salesperson on your team. Furthermore, getting more traffic to your site and getting visitors to stay on your site longer now tells search engines that information that you have on those pages are valuable and that you're using the right keywords. So that's also going to help you move up in rankings or in the search results. Our fourth one on here is an authority in your industry. There are 3 pillars basically to SEO: authority, relevance, and trustworthiness. Being relevant with what searchers are looking for and having authority goes hand in hand. Only businesses with high quality content are looking to move up in search engine results, right? So being an authority is on great content in your industry is going to help you hold that top position, and it's what's going to keep bringing people back to your website. They're looking for that information for a reason. You hold the keys to that, they're going to keep coming back. They might look for other subjects even because they already trust you for the one that they did their research on. So the more content and the more trustworthiness you can gain with those potential viewers are going to help bring back repeat traffic. SEO also grows local market efforts. So I might dive into this one a little bit just because local SEO is super important for businesses, especially if you're hyper local and you're looking for just something, let's say in the Twin Cities or in just Minnesota or Western Wisconsin, right? Local SEO is huge. And if you're a large business or a small business, this should be on the top of your list of something that you want to work on. There are some different areas that you might want to look into. Map packs, for instance, are a big one. An example of a Google local pack or a map pack would be if you put in a search and you're looking for, I don't know, let's say you're looking for baseball caps. You might a lot of times see right below that search bar a map that will show up, and it'll show multiple locations around where you are. That's a map pack. You're going to be able to find names and addresses and phone numbers for usually about 3 businesses. It might be 5 businesses, but that's information that gets added to your website and your contact us page that is going to allow you to show up in those local map packs. So that usually is given to first page results. So it's really important to make sure that you have your phone number, address, business information correct on your page when representing your business. It's also super helpful as people start utilizing more cell phones, right? So we all have cell phones, and as smartphones get better and better, people are utilizing that to go find places that they can locally go pick stuff up at. So it's definitely important to utilize your local business. And if you're a small business that relies mostly on foot traffic, you might look at SEO as not being something that you really, really want to focus on. But trust me, it's something that you definitely do. Another thing that has to do with local business is Google My Business. You might have heard this before, you might not have. It's free and it's easy for anybody that owns a business. You can build a Google My Business page for yourself. Again, it's gonna show you your address, your phone number. If you have social media handles, you can add photos to it. You know, if you're a restaurant, adding photos of food and drinks and your patio is great. Obviously, that's something that we're starting to jump right back into now. So having that information on your Google My Business is huge. And then the last one that I'm going to touch on here for local business is near me searches. You might have seen these. We see it all the time on the SEO side of things. People do near me searches. Let me find chicken dinner near me. Where can I buy chicken wings near me, right? So again, that might pop up a map pack where you're looking at maybe 3 or 5 of the top area, closest restaurants or businesses near you. That's huge. So people are changing the way that they search. So again, having that information on your website and having it correct is going to help you to show up on these near me searches. The 6th item that I have on here is our SEO generates more leads and sales. We all want that, right? But let's not get confused. I don't want to promise you that SEO is going to guarantee that you're going to get 10 sales today if you add SEO to your website, right? It does take a little bit of time for that to go into effect. But SEO will drive your digital marketing ROI over time. And that's really a huge thing. Again, it's replacing a salesperson, or it's helping as another salesperson for your business. So a good SEO campaign across your website can really influence site rankings. It's going to push you up in those SERPs. And SEO, of course, is going to drive more quality traffic to your website, which should give you more of those leads. Optimizing pages for SEO technique will help with your UX, right? So anybody who's visiting a website has seen maybe an older site or a site that hasn't been touched in 5 years. It's not super easy to navigate. And a lot of times you're going to bounce off of that page or that website. It's hard to find information, hard to find a way to contact them. So simple SEO changes on formatting your content, having call to actions at the bottom of pages with phone numbers and ways to get a hold of the business. These are all little techniques that are SEO related that are going to help your users want to stay on your pages longer and improve that UX. And really, search engines are looking for a better UX experience. They're going to look at the time on page, the amount of time spent on the website, and they're going to say, visitors visiting this website are taking more time on it. So it's got to be, again, going back to the 3 pillars, it's trustworthy. People want to stay here. So it's going to help your UX. It's going to help with search engines. It's going to help with rankings. So definitely a good thing. SEO is also a long-term success strategy. So one of the things that we're seeing right now on the agency side is we're getting clients that are coming to us and saying, hey, we're dropping in rankings. And we do site audits and we find out you don't really have a lot of SEO on your website. And the traffic that you had, you were spending thousands of dollars on paid ads. And now that you're having to cut budgets and everything to make payroll, you're losing those valuable visitors to your website. So investing in SEO strategy is a long-term item, and those that have had SEO added to their websites are still seeing success. They're still seeing visitors. Maybe it's dropped off a little bit, but they have built that high enough ranking in the SERPs that they will they'll basically stay there. They might drop a page, they might drop a few spots, but they're staying where they are because their pages are SEO'd correctly. We also are going to use SEO to outrank competitors. And you're going to be seen as an industry expert, right? So apples to apples, if you have SEO on your page and your competitors don't, you're going to outrank them. It's simple as that. Search engines are looking for a few different factors on every single website. And this has happened over the last few years. If you have faster page speeds, if your site is secure, if your data is organized and your competitors aren't, I can almost guarantee you right now you're going to outrank them. There are some cases that we've seen where if you've had a website a lot longer and you got a lot of content on it, yeah, they might still rank higher. But if you're doing all the right SEO techniques that search engines are looking for, there's a good chance that you're going to start to outrank them. So this is huge, especially with search engines changing their algorithms, sometimes daily, sometimes quarterly. We never know when they're going to change, but that kind of stuff, it can really catapult you as search engines are continuing to get better and better for user experience. SEO also helps assist with paid ads, right? So we just talked about paid ads a little bit here and how we're starting to see some people step away from it. We also are seeing some companies starting to ramp back up now that things are changing across the country. So if you have PPC ads, if you have LinkedIn ads, if you have Facebook ads, Bing ads, SEO can really help maximize those ads because you're going to be pointing those paid ads to these SEO pages. It's going to improve your score in ads, which is going to help you rank higher sometimes. It's also going to share a lot of keyword data. Again, there's that word keyword that we use so much in SEO. So you're going to be able to find keywords that benefit both your AdWords and your website itself. So double the data, which is going to help you find more opportunities and maximize your chances to get the right type of clientele and audiences to your website. The other thing about SEO and PPC is you're also doubling up your chances for showing up in SERPs. Usually you're going to get PPC ads at the top, can sometimes be anywhere from 1 to 5 ads. You might sometimes see them at the bottom of your search result pages too. If you are lucky enough to have one of those and you're also ranking on that same page for your organic SEO pages, now you have double listings on that page. The benefit of that is if somebody just happens to miss your PPC ad at the top, that's fine, right? You're paying for that click. But if they see you then again in the organic results and they click on that, great, double exposure. So huge help there when it comes to using both paid and using SEO organics. SEO also helps lower advertising costs. So we're kind of sticking with the theme here of paid. If you are seeing, let's say I'm going to throw out an example here. If you have 5 ads that are running and you're spending $1,000 a month on those 5 ads, but you have 2 listings on the first page that are organic, and you say, we got to cut some costs somewhere, or we're not really making up a lot of ground, we're showing up on the 3rd page of ads on these other 2 markets, you can now take some of that money that you have invested on those ads that you would have doubling up on that first page. Now you can devote more of that money to get those keywords and those ads to show up on the first page on some of those other markets or other product pages. So that way you can kind of adjust. We see this a lot of times when searches are really, really hard to rank on the top couple of pages for. Usually those search terms are really, really broad or they have high search volumes. You could still get to the top of pages, but you're going to just have to invest more money in ads. So having good SEO does allow you to be a little bit more flexible with your advertising if you are so lucky to spend some time and money on that. And then the last one here I have for benefits is tracking consumer trends and behaviors. If you're running SEO, chances are you probably have some kind of tools that you're using. You might be using Google Analytics. That's one of the tools, heads up, that we're going to talk about at the end here. And analytics a lot of times is going to give you a lot of data. You can start seeing what people are searching for, what's trending, which pages that you have are getting better, and you can go back and you can analyze those. And so that way you can really start to figure out before your competition, what's starting to get hot right now. And that can kind of give you a little bit of a lead over your competition when it comes to what you should be promoting, maybe what you're putting in banners at the top of your homepage, things like that. So drawbacks to SEO, right? So there's a reason why people aren't doing SEO. Not every company can afford it. Might be a reason why. Maybe you just don't believe it. We've seen that before too. But we definitely believe that SEO is important, and it's definitely, like I said, something that you should invest in. But here are some drawbacks to SEO and why maybe they're worth mentioning if you're kind of on the fence. SEO changes take time to show results. Like I was mentioning in some of the benefits, it doesn't happen right away with SEO. In fact, I've seen it where it takes 3 months, 90 days for SEO changes to take effect. So if you're really looking to make a move quick, to show up in results same day, that's where paid ads are probably going to be more beneficial to you. Definitely still helps, again, to SEO your pages, but you're not going to get those quick results. So definitely something to consider there. SEO also deals with a lot of algorithm changes. Like I was mentioning, SEO can change daily. I actually have a tool that I use that will let me know when you start to see some changes or fluctuations a little bit in some of the search engine stuff. We read all the time about core updates that happen with Google or Bing. Those might happen a couple of times a year. And when those happen, you really got to have your ears on, because you can really drop from a first page down to a third page in results without even doing anything to your pages, because that's just how quick some of those algorithms change. And a lot of times you don't know why. And that's where, the next one comes in here. It can be confusing to work with Google. There's a lot of data to analyze. There's a lot of research that sometimes needs to be done in order to figure out what went wrong when you're ranking on the first page and a week later you're on the third page. How do I get myself back up there? That's where that research comes in. If you're also looking in analytics or Search Console, it can be really daunting, and you can step away really quick because you don't understand what's going on. So again, that takes some time. SEO also requires ongoing management. You can't set it and forget it here. You always have to be testing. If you're a site owner or if you have the ability to work with a specialist, you're constantly testing, you're constantly trying new techniques. Even myself as a specialist, I might recommend something and we're not going to jump to the first page. There's no results that are guaranteed. The only way that you can guarantee those are if you actually pay for your ads to show up on the first page. So there's always testing involved. There's always things that need to be done in order to keep showing up day after day on the top of these searches. So, and another example of that is within the last 2 years here, Google has basically required, and Bing has too, Yahoo, a lot of these search engines, they require you to stay pretty current. So HTTPS, making sure your site is secure. So visitors want to keep coming back to your site. This is a user experience thing that if you don't have, you'll definitely drop in rankings. Be mobile friendly. Again, this is another ranking factor. This is a requirement that most of the search engines are making you choose to do. If you don't become mobile friendly on your website, there's a good chance, again, you're dropping in rankings. And page speed. One of the things that has just changed is most search engines are requiring you to be 3 seconds or less on each of your pages on your website. If it's over that and it's consistently over that, there's a chance that you might drop there too in rankings. So our fifth one up here is targeted by competitors. If your competitors are targeting you, give yourself a pat on the back. It's probably a good thing to know that you're leading the pack here and people are chasing you. But that also means you have to stay ahead of them. So you're always doing more research, you're always making updates to your website so that way they don't pass you. So it's, you know, it's always a tough thing where you might feel really good one day that you've done a lot of stuff on your website, but you can't step away for months on end. So that's a huge one. And then the last one I have here is competitive keywords. Or organically, they can compete with paid search. So again, going back to our paid search here, you know, there are some search terms that are going to be really, really broad. They might have, you know, 50,000 searches a month because they're so broad. It's going to be really, really hard to compete in SEO for that, especially if like big box chains and stores basically dominate the first page of results. It's going to be really, really hard for you to show up. So that's the tough thing about using, again, those keywords to really work your SEO. So that brings me to our next area here, which is going to be small businesses, large businesses, medium-sized businesses. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit tough if you're not quite sure where you fall into this, or you haven't done a lot of SEO. You know, how when we come out of COVID here, how do I get my website back on track? I can't afford to necessarily do a lot of money in advertising. So what should I be looking for to invest in for SEO? And so we really broke it down into 3 sections. Like I said, small, medium, and large businesses. And realistically, if you're a small business, you can do some of the things that large businesses or medium-sized businesses are doing, based off of what we're putting down here for examples. But this is really more of just giving you an idea of where you should start. Like I said, you can always advance, go into different things like technical SEO, but to get started, this is where you're going to probably see some help right away when it comes to SEO. So starting with the small businesses, usually this is going to be your mom and pop businesses. They're going to be new websites, or maybe you're just new to the web in general. So usually that means you're going to have tight budgets. You don't have a lot of money to spend on ads, let alone probably have time to spend on creating SEO strategies for your website. So your focus here should be really to grow your local online presence. Again, this is going to be the Google My Business. This is going to be building your brand recognition. Brand recognition kind of speaks to more of a marketing standpoint, but it does help you on the web too. And so making sure that you have your logo present, making sure you have your taglines available, making sure that you're on social media and you're being consistent with your branding. These are all things that are going to help people to recognize who you are, and it's going to stick in their brain so that way they keep coming back to your site. They might not always remember your exact domain name or your URL, but they might remember your branding and what your logo looks like, and so they can go and find you that way. Another thing you should be trying to do is gain reviews. Reviews are huge. This is becoming more and more of a ranking factor for Google. We've started to see it a little bit with Bing too. So if you can get reviews, even if you're offering something like 10% off if you leave us a review on your next purchase or something like that, getting reviews is huge. So any way that you can do it, try to get more and more reviews, because again, that builds that trust factor for search engines. If they start to see hundreds of reviews, that's a lot better than a business that might have 1 or 2. So definitely try and get some of those. Social media, it plays into SEO from the standpoint that you're going to start building backlinks. It's free. That's the other great thing about social media. So if you can build links on your social media and people are finding you through that, they can now click links to get to certain pages. That's going to build those landing pages up on your website and then hopefully bring in more traffic that way. So there are all different kinds of ways to get traffic onto your website. Utilize social media because it's free. Also, make your site secure. Getting an SSL, depending on who you go with, it might be free. It might be, I don't want to say it's free because usually you're going to have costs. You might get a discount if you do it for years, but it's going to cost something. But you have to have your site secure. It's going to be a huge ranking factor for you to step up over your client or your competition. So get your site secure. And I actually have a few extra here for small business. Add call to actions to your pages, especially on product pages, service pages. Put something on there that says, hey, contact us. And you're basically asking for the sale when you do that. That's huge. If somebody's on the fence, asking for that sale, having a click to call button or a click to your contact us page or an email, it's a simple click for them. So add it to those pages. And then the last one is make those pages mobile friendly. So making your website pages mobile friendly, again, looks good for UX. It also looks good in search engines' eyes. Just user experience as a whole, as more and more people start using tablets and smartphones, it's huge. Medium-sized businesses, let's jump over there. Usually this is going to be the type of company that has had a website for a while now. They have product pages, service pages, but they might not spend a lot of time maintaining those. But you might have 20, 30 pages on your website, right? So budget is still an issue here, but you can maybe devote a little bit more time to employees, adding to your SEO. Maybe you can devote a little bit more time to your SEO because you have employees taking care of day-to-day stuff. But there's basically more time involved to do some SEO. You still want to invest in local. That's still huge. So look at everything that small business has, do all of those. And then you're just kind of wanting to look at larger strategies and building larger on your website. So more content to your products. Make those product pages bigger so that way people can look at more images. They can get to know maybe sizes, dimensions of those products. More content on those pages now helps those move up in search engine rankings. Look at your images. Alt attributes for images, that's huge because we've been talking about SERPs a lot here, but other ways that people can find you are through your images. So naming your images for what it is. If you have an image of, let's say, exercise equipment, are you going to name it elliptical, or is it going to be JPEG 7765? No one's ever going to find JPEG 7665, right? So elliptical, gray, it could pop up in search. The little bit more exact you can be, the better. So that's where those alt attributes are going to help you get more visitors to your site. If you've already done the Google My Business, you can also add posts each month. We do it here at Evolve. Shout out to Carly. Thank you for all the blog posts that you've always done. We usually post once to twice a week, and we usually hit double digits for those views. Somebody can click into that and now they're on your site, or they're checking out your blog because it can now link from your Google My Business onto your website, in our case, the blog. So take care of duplicate content is another one that I have on here. Really what that speaks to is the low-hanging fruit. Fix your meta descriptions, fix your broken links, fix your title tags. It might seem really easy to double up on that content and just name every page the same. Don't do that. The more precise you can be about what's on that page in your meta description and your title tags, the better off you're gonna be. Because really, when people are doing their searches, that's the first thing that's gonna pop up. That's gonna give them that little snippet of what that page is gonna be about. Search engines also look at that and they go, well, every single page is named the same. I don't know where to send visitors. I don't know where to rank these. So the more exact you can be on those title tags, meta descriptions, great. And then broken links, of course, obviously fix those. Just because somebody clicks on that, they're going to get frustrated and they're probably going to bounce off your site. I do have a couple of extras for this one. Build internal linking. So we see this a lot where homepages a lot of times aren't going to have a lot of links to get around the site. Your homepage is usually the most visited page, most landed on page. How about we say that? And so linking to different areas of your sites, whether it's markets or products or services or your blog, for instance, having links on your homepage will help get people to where they need to go instead of looking all over your site, again, getting frustrated and possibly leaving. So that does take a little bit more time, and that's why this is more in the medium-sized category. And then the last one is local business listings. We've already talked a little bit about local business listings, but Bing has something very similar to Google My Business. It's called Bing Places. List yourself on there for the people that are searching on Bing. Look on Yellow Pages, MapQuest, Yelp. Be consistent with all your NAP information, name, phone number, again, all that kind of stuff, address. If that's consistent, that's going to help show up in search engines and keep you high in rankings, but it needs to be consistent. So make sure that you have everything listed the exact same. Large businesses, we kind of categorize this as, 50 plus pages. Maybe you have more locations than a single storefront. You also have more money to spend on SEO and marketing, and possibly even AdWords, right? So what falls into this one is obviously everything in small business and medium-sized business. Those are all things that you definitely want to take care of, but then it also opens you up to start taking care of things more on the technical SEO standpoint. And this is when you get there too. Again, you're not going to jump right into this kind of stuff, but you do have more time to devote to it. So it's easier to get here a lot quicker after you've taken care of some of those other things. So we talked about it a little bit earlier. One of the ranking factors is page speed. That's huge. Make sure all your pages are under 3 seconds. Another thing I have on here is schema. Schema is a technical markup that requires you to know some coding. Usually that's where maybe a developer might have to come into play, and that's why it's where you have to use maybe a little bit more time and energy. If you're wanting to do it yourself, you definitely can, but it's going to require some research. Check out our blog. We actually do have something on schema if you want to know more about that. Work on the content in the body of your pages. This is huge because, again, you want to give people or visitors to your website more information. Give them what they're looking for. Give them more content. We usually recommend at least 300 to 350 words per page. This really helps when it comes to your keyword density too for search engines. I don't want to go too deep into detail here, but more content is usually a good thing. And then optimizing your pages for those performances or for online performance. Again, more content, make sure that content is right, make sure your pages are optimized for fast speeds, mobile, so on and so forth. So that way, when you do get people to come to your site, it's a good user experience. So, and then of course, work on more reviews. You definitely want that. And then I have on here featured snippets too. So Q&A type stuff. We actually just did this for a couple of clients. Add more content of question and answer as more and more voice searches come out there, whether it's with your phone or Siri or Alexa. Make sure my Alexa doesn't go off here. People are looking for exact answers. And if you can get lucky enough to have a featured snippet for some of those, people are gonna look on the web, or they're gonna get that voice search, and then they're gonna ask to pull up that website, and that website can be you. So having Q&A type questions on certain pages explaining information about products is huge. So that's something that you definitely can work towards. And then actually real quick here, again, going back, videos and images. If you can name videos and images on your website, get those up on your website, that's going to be super helpful too, because that's just another way that people can find you in search. So a couple of examples of clients that we actually have worked with for each of these different categories. Small business, Pat's Building Maintenance. We technically qualify this as kind of a smaller business because we only do about 1 hour worth of SEO, and it's super hyper localized. He only does about 30 miles around St. Paul. And so it's kind of a unique situation for his business. So what did we do? We cleaned up the UX on the site, added call to actions, added forms to his service pages. We give frequent updates on Facebook because he has a pretty big following on Facebook. And then we got a whole bunch more reviews. That kind of builds up, again, that trust. We also been changing the hierarchy of his his site. Instead of just doing janitorial, now we focus more on carpet cleaning. And so over the past few months, when we kind of took over about 4 months ago on doing a lot of these changes, he ranked in the top 100 for about 10 keywords. Now I actually took a look Tuesday, and he's got 119 keywords that he's shown up, 3 months, sorry. So vast changes on his website were made, and he's starting to show up more in searches, getting him more and more business. For medium-sized business, we work with this great client out in Minnetonka called Orchards, and they're a senior living community. And one of the tough things about them is it's a very competitive market right now for seniors, as the baby boomers have kind of started to come full circle into that retirement age. So it's super competitive, and it doesn't help that they're a brand new facility either. So brand new website, brand new facility. It's great from the outside, but online it's a little tough. It was a little tough to find them right away. So what did we do? We added click to call for their navigation. So now if anyone's viewing their website, they can now click to call to get a hold of somebody at Orchards. Super simple, something that every business should do. Updated all the title and meta descriptions. Again, something simple that can be done yourself. It builds the trust and authority in the market. We started doing more Q&A across their website to answer some of those questions that seniors might have. And then we improved their local business presence with Google My Business. So they're getting more contacts, more submissions on independent living and assisted living right now. And that's their target market. Our large business here is Caltronics. They want to gain more ground in the marketplace. They want to attract larger clients. This is something that everybody wants to do, right? So we're getting them there by doing a couple of different things. We created new pages for their target markets. We added a RFQ form for them. So now we're collecting data for RFQs and for Contact Us based on the type of project. All their images have alt attributes. So again, talking about those images, it's another way that people are finding them. Focused on technical SEO. So we added schema markup, and all their pages are under 3 seconds. So we're getting them more leads, and we've improved their site traffic over the last 9 months in organic and in paid. So with that being said, I'm going to grab a drink of water real quick here, but Marnie, I'm going to have you take over and talk about the SEO and the post-pandemic options.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. It was fun to hear the recap with some of the different case study information that you put together. And I love the fact that you kind of started this out that, you know, this is something that is free that people can do themselves, but then you went in to explain a little bit more detail as far as what needs to go into it, and understanding that strategy really has to be put into it. And if it's not your skill set, we're definitely here to help. But the end goal, like you had said, is to get more leads, more sales, and more traffic. And you know, there's so many different things that are happening within our current economic situation here that it really is time to revisit any type of marketing plans that you may have. We do not have a business as usual. In talking with other business owners, we used to look at what is your 3-year and 5-year plan, and now we're talking about what is your 30, 60, 90-day plan, and how are you able to quickly pivot that business plan and the communications, rather than having a communication plan that is specifically set on either tasks or services that are more transactional. We're seeing that that emotional piece really needs to be put into it, because it feels as though we're all dealing with a lot of different situations and levels of grief and emotional uncertainty. And by pivoting your marketing plan to be speaking differently to your ideal audience, there's a bigger opportunity to be pulling in that connection piece. It's all based off of relationships, because I feel as though we've been segregated with our stay-at-home piece, and we're all craving that interaction. We're craving that emotional support. And so now's the time to be shifting those marketing plans like that. We've got clients that are asking us for, you know, what are quick hits? What are, you know, high impact items that we're able to make an immediate difference on? And the consistent message back from the team is really investing those marketing dollars with the maximum results that you can control. So you can control pay-per-click, but most importantly, you can control what the copy is that you've got on your website. And John, you mentioned the quality CTA, or the call to action statements that are needed to be added to websites. I think what most people are forgetting is that there's so much mobile traffic now that the way that those CTAs display on a mobile platform are even more important than they were before, because we see that more people are using their mobile devices. We even talk to people, they no longer have computers in their homes. They're just using their cell phones for everything. So it's real important to maximize those marketing dollars and reinvest in what you currently have, especially if you've got a budget that you're trying to allocate and stretch to get the most amount out of the finances that you currently have. We may not need to redo something, but we may need to go in and make some tweaks that's going to provide a significant importance. We see that it's real important to be communicating what your business pivots are and what you're planning, so that you're communicating to your clients and future clients so they understand where you're at. Not only are you physically opened, but where you are at for supporting your teams and your clients, and if there's been any process changes. Now, if we've got clients that are in a retail situation, there's a lot of changes that have happened with spacing and how people are needing to do business. I mean, hair salons get to open June 1st here in Minnesota, and the planning is so different in how you engage with them. And just even to the point of that you no longer walk in and sit down in a waiting room until it's your turn. You have to call them or text them, and they come out and get you. And so just being able to communicate and having those clear change plans displayed on your website is going to exhibit a higher confidence of safety. There's a lot of blog articles that people can have access to, and making sure that you're publishing those articles and using those keywords with that blog article just layers on the importance of search engine optimization, because Google is searching not only the websites, but it's searching the blog articles. And so, John, you mentioned going back and forth with social media and providing links back to your website. Today we have planned to be posting a blog article, and then that transfers over into our LinkedIn, which then transfers over into our additional social media, all with links back to our website. And that's what Google loves to see. They love seeing how everything is tied together, and without having those inbound, outbound links correctly put on, you could be wasting your time writing a blog article. So make sure that you do it correctly, that you post it correctly, that you not only use the keywords, but you tag it for the categories, so Google can serve up in the search results exactly how you want it to do. It's real easy to go in and update website headlines, copies, and ads, and making sure that you're spending time looking at that is critical, because people are thinking differently these days. They need to be reading differently. And keep in mind that when you're putting together a website, you're not putting it together for yourself. You're putting it together for your client. So take a step back, look at it from a third-party point of view, and just view it through that different lens to understand how those headlines are being perceived, and then what Google's reading it and how that's coming up. If we're using real generic terms, like a headline for a homepage, once in a while we'll still see it where somebody's like, "Welcome to my website." That has nothing to do with anything that Google can provide any traction for you on. So we have to be very mindful with that. Create and repurpose visual content, being able to mark those photos with the right metadata to be showing Google that you can maximize the search engine optimization results with really great content, and visual photos is incredible. Continuing to increase the website health, we've got team members here that they love working on this. It's kind of like a puzzle for them to go through and really find exactly what items could be improved upon. And that can be the site speed, it could be looking for broken links, it can be looking for how quickly different pages load. And so we have a website marketing plan that is available for business owners that they need to focus on other pieces of their business and they don't have a webmaster that's on staff. We can help with that. And it's not a huge investment, but it really is critical for the way that Google is looking at your website. You know, years ago, you could finish a website and just kind of like mark that off on your checkbox. That's not the case anymore. You have to continually be monitoring it. And if you don't have the time or the skill set, you need to find somebody that you can trust, that you can build a relationship with, that really considers your business just as important as their business. And again, consistent messaging with social media posts. We've got clients that are doing a fabulous job with this, and we can help put together those content calendars that helps to keep on track. It's kind of funny, you know, Twitter, it's 140 characters, but boy, some people sure get writer's block with that. Being able to have that consistent messaging in the post is real important, and it builds that credibility that you were talking about as well, John.
Yeah, it really does. So I know that we're getting a little close on our time here, so I'm going to run through a couple of free tools that you can take advantage of on your own to kind of help build that SEO on site for yourself. And the first one that I have on here is Google Analytics, and this is really your workhorse of all tools. Like I was mentioning before, it can be a little daunting at first if you don't know what you're really getting yourself into, but really analytics is going to be able to help you look at the number of visits total to your site from the day that you add analytics to it to what you might have gotten in the last week. It also can look at different traffic sources, direct traffic, organic traffic, paid traffic, social. And then it can also help you with location demographics, where those people are coming from. So you can really start to analyze how you want to go about you know, marketing your website. Are there certain pockets that you want to look at? So that would be the first one that I definitely recommend that everyone adds to their website. And it also is really helpful for us when if you come to us for SEO help, we can look back at your data and we can kind of analyze and give you an idea of where we should go for strategy. The next one that I have is Search Console. This one can get really technical, but it can really help out your website a lot. It's rich with insights when it comes to keyword and URL performances. It's great for mobile usability, sitemap statuses, and can really just, on more of the technical side, I think our developers get a good kick out of working in Search Console and the items that they can kind of repair based off of it. SEMrush, there's a free version of this. We actually use this one ourselves. This is great for keywords. You can actually use this to look at competitors' websites, what they're ranking for, and then it can really kind of help you to create content around certain terms or phrases or keywords that can help you start to look at ranking above them. There's also other tools available, but really the keyword section on this is great. So take a look at that one. SEO Quake. This is a nice little add-on that you can add to Chrome. This can look at individual pages and give you SEO metrics for keyword density, things that are missing on your site like analytics, schema, how many headings you have, images that have alt attributes and ones that need to be added from page to page. So it's really a nice little quick snapshot for individual pages if you're looking to focus on one or two or you know, individual pages that could really use some focus and moving up in search for. The last one here is the Moz bar. Again, another little add-on that you can add to Chrome. It's easy to access, gives you easy access to domain authority scores, and you can also look at it and explore different keywords, much like what you have for SEMrush. Again, it's more of a snapshot, which is great, so you don't have to dive into some program. You can just put in a URL and away you go and start analyzing data. So take a look at these ones. I know that we're going to probably include the links to those with the follow-up, so everyone have fun with those. And then, questions. Hopefully we got time for a few questions here. Joe?
Absolutely. We did get a few questions. You did a good job of answering some of them throughout the webinar, so that is great. The first question I want to lead off with for you, John, is what are some of the KPIs that a novice should keep an eye on if they're just starting down the SEO path?
Oh, great. For me, I always look at a few different areas when I'm looking at a website. I like to look at what has my site been doing traffic-wise? Where can I take advantage of that? And how can I get them to the end goal? So, right, just kind of get them down the filter so that way they can start filling out contact us forms. Or I know that we use Tag Manager for a few things to see and track clicks to calls. Again, going back to the mobile side of things, get that phone number clickable. So then now we can look at that and say, yeah, last month you had 2 calls. Now, since we put that on every page, you had 15. That's another way that your website can really help produce.
I have a reminder for Amy.
The next question I have is, I think, a great one. How important is it to have reviews or Google My Business on your website?
It's huge. It's huge. Like I said, search engines are looking towards reviews to really show that dominance and authority, relevance. Going back to the three pillars of SEO, the more reviews you can have about the different products, maybe it's reviews on food, maybe it's reviews on machinery, the better, because now it gives anyone who's looking at your site that testimonial of, I don't know anything about this company. Should I buy something from them? You can now check those reviews and look at customer service and products and everything else. So that's huge.
Well, and those reviews go back to that authority you were talking about early on too. It gives you that authority.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another question I think is a good one, because if you were doing any SEO in the late 90s, early 2000s, we were told to pack as many keywords into a page. But now, the question is, how many keywords should I have on a page? Should I pack it full, or is less is more in this instance?
That's a great question. And like back in the 90s, developers were your basic SEO specialists back then, because they were the ones that had to add everything. So it's interesting because it's a totally different way of thinking now. Search engines don't want you to load up on keywords. In fact, that's called keyword stuffing, and a lot of times that will move you down in ranks. So if you have a keyword that you really, really want to show up, don't put it on your site or on your page 33 times. Make sure that you're including it in a title tag or a meta description. Focus on using other forms of that keyword. This is where kind of our strategy comes in, is if we look at something and we don't think that we can necessarily rank for that keyword, or it's going to be really hard if we don't add it a bunch of times, what are alterations of that keyword? What are other ways that people are searching for this specific product or that keyword that you want to rank for, right? So use alternative terms and long tail keywords too. If you can put it into a 3-word keyword, I know that sounds weird, but these long tail keywords are a little bit more precise. They're not as broad, and you can rank for that. So really be careful about your keyword stuffing.
Excellent. Well, I know we're kind of up against time, but there was one more question that I think is great to close on. I heard that Google just made a big update recently. How is that impacting search results? Have we seen a big dip in traffic based on that update?
Some sites are seeing a dip in traffic. Usually that happens about a month and a half after. So if you're looking at your analytics and you're seeing that, don't panic. It's pretty common. Sometimes they can just bounce back as these algorithm changes kind of work through what they're doing. But one of the things that we've noticed or we've seen is these core updates have really been focused more on voice search and, again, user experience. So really trying to get users that are coming to websites the answers that they're looking for as quick as possible. So really, really focus on trying to get the right information on the right pages and make it simple to find.
Excellent. Those
All
are
right.
questions I have.
That is fantastic. I just want to thank you guys all for attending. If you found this information useful and beneficial, I'd appreciate it if you'd share the recording with your networks. We're here to help. We want to make sure we see businesses that are succeeding, and we want to make a positive impact in our community. If you're looking for information regarding on how our team here at Evolve Systems can help you with the website or your search engine optimization, please visit us on our contact page at evolve-systems.com, or email myself or to John. Our contact information is here on the next slide. And we hope that you enjoyed the presentation, and we wish you the best of luck with your search engine optimization. And of course, we have to throw in there, don't forget to wash your hands. Thank you all. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye all.